How you doing? This is Dr. Steven Rodriguez, and I am going to try to explain my concept of a trigger point. So, what is and how to envision a trigger point? Over the years, I've tried to attempt to explain what a trigger point is. They are basically invisible to the naked eye, and I've tried many times trying to explain them. But if you can envision a flashlight as a potential trigger point, and the trigger points develop in stress and strained muscles, and over a period of time they collect these errors of repair, and these errors of repair formulate into a unit, and once the unit is complete, the trigger point starts to fire. And as you can see with this flashlight, there is all the components are being put together by time and effort, stress and strain, and the trigger point also has to have a power source. And so if you disassemble any component of the trigger point, it will stop flashing. But there are many elements within the tissue which can reformulate any one of these parts and ignite or start the trigger point flashing again. So you put the batteries in, and you put the switch in, and then you have a trigger point. And a trigger point is notorious for projecting its image onto different structures down your leg, up around your head, and the light itself technically is the trigger point. The projection is what you feel. So if you feel here and you don't feel anything, that's because there's nothing there except the projection of the trigger point. Then you have to find the trigger point. And you may feel the entire flashlight, and you may disassemble a piece of the flashlight in trying to deactivate the trigger point. But it's the light source that you have to rid, plus the different components. You have to rid the body of all of it. You have to disassemble it, take it loose, so that it will not shine again. Now, sometimes a trigger point will have a loosey-goosey trigger, and it will just flash erratically, off and on, off and on, off and on, and drive you crazy. And sometimes the switch can be pushed on and pushed off, depending on how you touch the trigger point. So to rid your body of a trigger point, you have to disassemble the entire unit. And once you disassemble the pieces to the trigger point in the muscle will, through the healing process, reprocess all those components into healthy tissue. And once you have healthy tissue, then you have no components to be reformulated into a trigger point.